At what point did McDojoLife explode?
Shit, I mean, I think most people well, funny enough, so, like, I don't even know how much I've really told this. Most people don't ask this. So, like, everybody knows that Rogan has been a big supporter of the page. I mean, I am forever grateful, and I cannot sit here and say that without him, I'd be where I am right now. I am so fucking grateful, and I have amazing Rogan stories, by the way. Like, been crazy over the years, just what he's done that has led to incredible stories for me. But the real thing that actually blew the page up wasn't really him, surprisingly enough. It was this bit that I did, which at first, when I first started doing McDojoLife, I understood that I would ruffle feathers and that there would be repercussions. So I did not put my face out. And then I came across this bit that just fell in my lap. And I had to put it was the first time I ever put my face on the page too. So there was this guy who used to date a friend of mine. And he was cool then. Like, I liked him. I thought he was fun, right? But we hung out when we were drinking and having fun, right? And then at the time, I was helping out with jujitsu. So I was a striking coach there. I was a program director, and I helped assist with classes. I think I was a blue belt at the time, and so we were doing this women's self defense seminar. And so I posted it on my personal Facebook, which I don't even have a personal Facebook because right when I got kicked off, like I just was like, all right, years of all the shit that you have is gone, photos, memories. I was like, I ain't doing this shit anymore. So I posted this women's self defense flyer on my Facebook page. And I was like, hey, if you're in Jacksonville, Florida, you want to come out and learn, it was like kind of like a free trial class to say the least. And all these women were like, yeah, we'd love to be there. This will be fun. We're really looking forward to it. And then out of nowhere, this fucking douchebag just pops up in the comment sections and he's talking shit to every one of these women. And now this was an acquaintance. He used to date a friend of mine. So I thought, like, where is this animosity coming from? So I was like, I went on and I sent him a direct message. I was like, hey man, what are you doing? It's like you're telling these women, first of all, you're out of your depth. This is something that I do for a living. You do not. You've never trained. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And this is also my job. So you're now reaching into my pocket and taking away from potential clients. And again, you're just wrong. He's like, women could never beat a man no matter how much they train. I was like, have you ever seen Gabby Garcia? Like, you have no fucking idea what you're saying. And so, and over the years of training, there have been so many talented women who I've trained with who could beat my ass, like and so I was like, I think you're out of your depth. And he was like, if you can find me a woman that will beat me, I'll say I'm wrong. I was like, oh, fucking bet. And at the time, I didn't put my face on McDojoLife. So he didn't know I ran this page. So I went over to McDojoLife. I took a bunch of the screenshots and I wrote like a little bit of an essay. And I was like, look, this is the situation. Is there anybody out there willing to like fight this man who is a female who would be willing to do it? And man, people came out of the woodwork. And then it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And like I found a location. I found like people who were willing to like fight this man. And we were going through these conversations about how it would go. And then out of nowhere, there was like news stations calling me. They're like, hey, we heard about this match, this man versus woman match. Like, can we interview? I was like, what? Fine. Like, so that was supposed to take place in Central Florida. And so next thing you know, on Reddit, it was the number one thread on post on Reddit. Like number one, like out of all of Reddit at the time, it was the biggest one. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because he was so unlikable and such a douchebag. And he leaned into that so hard. And all these women were just like, oh, I would fuck this man up. We're talking straight killers were in my inbox. I was like, oh, you fucked up. So then we wind up getting one woman who was willing to do it. And then we set up a venue. And then it was like 3 weeks before this match was supposed to happen, the venue just pulled out. I was like, that was where all like the ads were for the shit. I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? You can't just pull out on me. It's like 3 weeks to go time. They were like, well, we're a little worried about state athletic commission and all that shit. And I was like, I get it. At the same time, it sucks, but I was like, I understand. But I was like, this is a sparring match. Why are you so upset? Like they were like, but still, like the athletic commission's gonna come down. And I was like, all right, well, we'll fucking see. So I wind up getting that fixed. Then 2 weeks before, the woman who was supposed to face him, her manager was like, don't do this. And then she pulled out. I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck? So I found out, wind up getting somebody else. And then that person a week before was like, all right, well, I do have a real MMA match. And that MMA match is potentially for a UFC contract. I have to take that, but I still want to take this. And I was like, okay. I was like, but you have to understand, like, you have to show up to this. And I was like, you're about to get into a real fight. So, there anything could happen. You could break a goddamn toe. And of course, I get a call and I get a photo like after her match, and she looked like she had been beaten with a baseball bat. I was like, oh my God, there's no way you could do this. There's no way. And she was like, well, if you still need me to, I was like, absolutely fucking not. Like, no, you're not going to do this. Like, you look like you went through a meat grinder. And I felt bad for her because obviously this was something that could have been a potentially big publicity thing for her. And she just lost it, that fight, which means she didn't get into the UFC. Hopefully she did afterwards. So last minute, like 3 days before this damn thing, I wind up getting a replacement fighter. And it was Tara LaRosa. And Tara LaRosa back in the day was like the woman's MMA champ. Like she was the shit, like before Ronda Rousey came around, right? And so she was retired, she was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Why not? And so we wind up making that happen. So the day before, my whole Facebook page gets shut down. Like, I'm not allowed to post, I'm not allowed to comment, I'm not allowed to do anything. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is how I'm communicating to everybody," because I was gonna stream it live on Facebook. And I was like, "Jesus Christ, what else could fucking go wrong?" So I wind up figuring out that even though that was done, the event page, I could still start another account and still stream to that event page. So I was like, "Okay, I'm still good." So I wind up figuring that out. I get there the day of, and when I get there, the person's wife who owned the gym runs in. I just set up all the camera equipment and everything. She runs in. She's like, "You need to leave." What the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, I'm not leaving. I was like, we are about to start this in a second. There's no way I'm leaving. Like, she was like, you just have to leave. I was like, can you give me an explanation why? She's like, no, I'm not. You just need to leave. I was like, okay, good luck, because I ain't leaving then. And then a police officer comes in right after. He goes, hey guys, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. It's like, are these two about to fight? I was like, no, they're about to spar. It's a martial arts gym. That's completely legal. He's like, I heard some money will be exchanged. I was like, no, no, no. She's getting paid to be here to teach a seminar. That's it. And he was like, that's not going to fly. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not, they can't spar in a martial arts gym and I can't pay her to teach a seminar. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. He was like, the moment they touch gloves, you're going to jail. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't have a lawyer right now. He's not here. I don't know. So we had to stop and I had to go live. We're talking like, I think it was over 10,000 people were watching this. And I had to go on there with her on my right side, him on my left side. And I had to explain to the public why this wasn't going to happen. And of course, the internet does what the internet does. I knew this was a scam. I knew you weren't going to do it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, fuck you. That's not how this works. Like, this is real life. And so we did wind up making it happen. It happened in an undisclosed location. We had to film it ahead of time. I couldn't do it live because then people would know where we were. I did get a subpoena from the State Athletic Commission, but because we didn't do it in Florida and I got subpoenaed by the State Athletic Commission in Florida, I was like, prove that it was in Florida. And then I never heard from them again. I was like, suck it, I win. And it didn't happen in Florida, it happened somewhere else. But she wound up like beating him. Like he tapped a cardio. All of his bravado, all of his like men are stronger and bigger and shit. He tapped to cardio. She wind up shooting in. She slipped. He shot to the back. He goes for a rear naked choke because he fucking lied. He was training on the side. He blows his arms out like any white belt would because it's not in. He just like tenses. She winds up like laughing because it's so comical how bad he is. She winds up getting the underhook. She gets him against the wall. They wind up going back down. She gets him in side control and he taps. And I was like, oh no, 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 you don't get to tap the side control, you fuck. Like all that shit he was talking, he was threatening me, like people that I knew. He was being a complete prick. I was like, he goes, I'm going to throw up. I was like, then you throw up and you come back and you do it again. Like, I'm not going to let you just get away with tapping to cardio, you pussy. So he winds up getting back up, does it again. She winds up getting him in an arm bar. So she beat him twice. And so, but that story, when it happened, was this huge deal. Really did elevate McDojoLife to like a lot bigger than it was. I mean, a piece of original content that blew up. And then after that, of course, the Rogan stuff and all that helped too.